Hey, what's up, Abdel? Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I just threw this together very quickly just because I saw the news about the Xbox Game Pass going up, and I was like, you know what I should do? I should have a talk with the people. And so, yeah, I just kind of threw this together. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? I got to tell you, I meant to have a thumbnail for it and everything, but I didn't. So, here we go. What's up, everyone? I assume and presume we all saw the news about Xbox Game Pass having prices go up. Are you able to hear me, by the way, Abdel? Like, are you able to hear what I'm saying and all that jazz? Because if you are, that'd be great. I'd like to know that. I'd like to know that. I meant to do like a cool little like video and everything, but I ended up just going live. I just wanted to chat with you guys and see how everyone was doing. So let's see what's up. So yeah, I saw Game Pass prices were going up. I feel like that's something we've all known about. I've all kind of figured was happening. Game Pass Ultimate going up to what is it? I think $20. $20 a month. Saw you go live. I have some thoughts on this as well, myself as well. Yeah, well, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking, because I'm curious, right? Like I really am curious how you're taking it. Like what are you thinking as far as the price going up on Game Pass? I think it was an inevitability. I think we all kind of figured that was going to be the case, but is it the right time? I also see they're having a new standard tier where you don't have to get day one if you don't want to. Hey, Nisa Howard, good to see you. In my opinion, the discussion should not be if it's good or bad. The discussion should be if Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is still worth it. And to me, it absolutely is. I think that's a great point. I think that is the way we should approach this kind of a question, right? Like, is it worth it to have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate? Is that something that people should invest their money in at $20 a month American, right? With your various currencies kind of transferring it in there. And to me, it is still worth it, but we are bumping into territory where I'm like, I don't know, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't kind of thing. And so that's something I keep in mind kind of going forward, because it might be that we are at its peak, at least for right now, until Xbox is delivering, one 9.0 Metacritic game or better, 90 plus Metacritic game a quarter or better. I don't think you can go beyond $20 a month, but it makes good sense, I think, to have Game Pass. I'm always surprised. I'm just look up some of the Game Pass games here. I'm always surprised when people don't have Game Pass. That throws me off, right? Like when people say that they're Xbox gamers but are not Game Pass people. That does tend to throw me off a little bit. You know what I mean? Abdel says, I live in Netherlands, and over here it's going from, I guess, 15 euros to 18 euros a month. So is that price bump a lot for you? Is that something that is too much for you or not enough for you? Now talking, I guess my keyboard is probably really loud for you guys. I'm sorry about that. Whoops. Xbox Game Pass. There we go. All right. So let's see here. Nisa says, I like Game Pass. It has helped me discover new games. Absolutely do I agree. Absolutely do I agree. I thoroughly agree. I've been playing, I know if you guys listen to the regular show, you've heard me say that I've been playing a lot of Lords of the Fallen lately and really having a blast with it. Like I'm really enjoying Lords of the Fallen. But that's a game that if I had purchased, I think I would have been like, this is outside of my wheelhouse. I'm not the person that really enjoys Souls-like games. Would I enjoy this? And Game Pass lets me do that. And so to me, it lets me discover a lot of new games. The counterpoint is that sometimes I'm like, yo, why is an X game or a Y game on Game Pass? And that throws me off for a little bit, right? I will say I did just like not 10 minutes ago pick up Game Pass on sale from Newegg. It was $40 American for 3 months, which is $10 off from what it would normally be. But now with the new price hike, it would be $20 off. So Maybe that math doesn't quite equate. I think I saved $20 with the amount that I bought. Let's put it that way. Nisa says, I don't think I would have bought all the games I have. So I think that's one of the things that I am often surprised about. When people forget, like, because they have Game Pass, they're like, well, that's not supporting developer. You can buy the game still. You can buy the game and get a discount. What's up, Xbox BG? Good to see you, bud. If you don't have Game Pass, you're not a serious gamer. So I know exactly what you are saying, and I very much agree to a point, but I've had to back off of that thought a little bit lately. A little bit I've had to back off of that comment because I very much agree in a lot of ways, but I've found that people that don't have the time have been staying away from Game Pass. Like, I don't have the time to play 300 games or whatever it is. So they've stopped it, even though I think wallet wise, it might still save them money. But like my buddy Joe, he's one of my best friends. He's the PlayStation content creator. We play all our games and they're all multi-platform or have cross-play or cross-platform or whatnot. So unless we're playing Sea of Thieves, which I guess now he can do because we played we played hundreds of hours of Sea of Thieves. Now he can do that on PlayStation. Yeah. So let's see. Cygnus says, I don't have Game Pass because I got too much backlog from games that I bought last Black Friday. Cygnus, I feel like, was it you in recent shows? Abdul, I see you using those channel member emotes. You're awesome. You're awesome. I love the channel member emotes. I need to update a few of them for sure. For sure. What's up, Silkenet? So Cygnus, I think it was in our recent XEP episode that you were saying you're a physical gamer and you picked up a lot of physical games recently. Maybe I saw that on social or whatnot, but you're a physical gamer and you picked up a bunch of them. Totally cool. What's up, MJ Dark? Good to see you. Mr. Joanna Dark in the house. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Whenever I see some of you guys in chat that I see in other podcasts, I always feel like a celebrity. Like when I see MJ Dark and Abdel and Xbox BG, I'm always like, oh, what's up? Because I feel so cool because, I see you guys in Mav shows or ILP or something like that. So, take that for what it is. What's up, Cheese Works? Good to see you. Sorry, I'm a little dehydrated. We're everywhere. That's the best part, man. That's the best part. When I see people in my community that are in other communities, it feels good. It feels good. I am going to do 5 membership giveaways partway through this stream just for kicks. So Cygnus says, yes, that's me. Got whole shelves of physical games and movies as backlogs. So tell me this, Cygnus, if you don't mind dropping in chat, I'm curious, why still physical? Why still physical? And that's not a judgment, mind you. I'm a digital gamer myself. I don't really do discs. I occasionally buy a disc like for novelty's sake because I want it on my shelf, like things that are really important to me. But I'm not a physical gamer anymore, unless it's like 360 stuff that's not back compat. Nisa says, I became more of a digital gamer because of my ROG Ally. Oh, let's see, that makes good sense. I will give you a little hint. Games that you own on your Xbox account, you'll soon be playing them via cloud. So that ROG Ally is going to get that much more enjoyment. There's your little leak for the 14 people watching on YouTube. If anyone's watching on X, I guess you know now too. But yeah, that's coming very soon. Will Broke Boy Lewis says, don't worry, Luke, you'll get to Hargeet State soon and be on every show. I often decline invitations just because of time. I burn out quick. I get tired quick. So I sometimes, like Hargeet, he does it, man. Hargeet does it. Let's see. Mav has a bunch of shows. Retri over at Game Pass Daily was doing a lot, but has backed off a bit just to make sure he's covering his bases there, which makes good sense. Yeah. Xbox BG says, I love your channel, brother. Very professional. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Abdel says, I'm currently in the process of selling all my Xbox discs and rebuying them digitally. Already have gotten more than 200 euro for it. That's awesome, Abdel. Can I tell you, I have all of these movies, like Blu-rays, that I would love to sell. I don't know where to sell them. And I don't want to take the time to do eBay and stuff. But I got all these Blu-rays. I'm just ready to get rid of them because it's just the, I guess you would say the pile up, right? I'm ready to get rid of some stuff. So Let's see. Cheeseworks asks, "How is your summer treating you so far? Bored yet?" Oh, not at all bored. The great trip to LA was how my summer started. Remember, where I got to see and meet everybody, and that was a blast. And then from there, came back. I've had a lot of good time. Did some podcasts and stuff. This weekend, I'm going to Williamsburg, Virginia. We're going to Busch Gardens, ride some roller coasters. My wife was going to do that. That was going to be a trip I did with my buddy Suddy, because he wasn't doing great, and so we were like, okay, we want to get a good guys trip in. But then he got the call for he needed 2 organs, and 2 of them got transplanted. He got that special call that we never expected to come, and so now he can't go on the trip, but we're still going. So it's like, but I'm doing that this weekend, so I'm excited. And then I've been helping coach soccer, so that's been fun. So I'm gonna miss retro. Yeah, for sure. Last physical I bought was more for Nintendo. See, that makes sense just by Nintendo's nature, but like I will absolutely, when Switch 2 comes out, that next Switch, when that comes out, I can see if they future proof it and it's linked to an account and not a physical system, then I will absolutely go back in and buy all the old Metroids and all the other stuff that's really important to me. But I couldn't see, as much as I love Star Fox 64, I wasn't going to keep buying it, or I wasn't going to keep buying X or Y, and so that wasn't going to happen. So Silkenit says, I don't replay games that much, especially years later, so I don't need plastic on my shelves. If I like a game, I'll buy collectibles. That works as decoration as well. That I get. I was putting up this right here. This is the Strife statue from Darksiders Genesis, and like I don't need a physical copy of Darksiders Genesis, but I love the memory that I had with it, and looking at the statue helps with that. So little collectibles are useful for sure. Let's see. Broke Boy Lewis says, can't remember where I sold all my physical DVDs and CDs to some company in South Carolina. I think you'd have to have the boxes, but I made like $1,000 from it. That's cool. Well, if you remember, Will, email it to me, because I live in North Carolina and like I'm ready to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Cygnus says, if I pay for something, I feel I have to have it in my hand, like physically touch it. That's why I can't justify paying $200 plus a year for Game Pass, not owning anything after paying that much. It feels weird to me. So yes, Cygnus, I hear you on your logic there. Caveat asterisk, but in the gaming world, like your discs are largely useless, right? Like a game gets updated, you can't play it. You can't use that disc sometimes. And so that's kind of like, do you own it? Do you? I don't know, man. I don't know. What's up, Dano? Good to see you, Dano. How are you, man? Just hanging out with the chat here. We're talking Game Pass stuff we like. If you've had a Game Pass game that you really like or that you've enjoyed, drop that into chat as well. Because I discover a lot of games from Game Pass, and it's really, really a great service to me. Now, that said, $20 a month is about where I'm like, okay, that's my max for right now, unless something special is happening. Because, and I want to credit Ryuketsu Clint Coombs from Threads. He said, if I buy a game every 3-4 months, then I'm getting my money's worth, right? And that makes good sense, right? Like if you're paying $20 a month, that's a game for every 3 months. So if you were buying one game every 3 months that you would pay full price for it, and it's in Game Pass, you are getting that, right? You are getting that. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But I do think we're pressing, just because subscription services do add up, right? Immortality is the game that Red Beast has been playing. Very cool. Very cool. Dano has been playing Vampire Survivors. What's up, Clint Coombs? Good to see you. I literally just talked about you. Jam Pack Sam. I clicked on the wrong one, but now we'll go with Abdel. Abdel says, I played Persona 5 Royal on Game Pass and bought it after it left. It was play anywhere, so it also played on my ROG Ally. See, that's dope. I love that. Jam Pack Sam says, the only reason I even like having discs on my shelf anymore is to use them in videos or decor for the shelf. Totally agree. Sam also been playing Lords of the Fallen. Yeah, that game's I'm loving that game, but I'm definitely not playing it the way it's supposed to be. I said this, maybe I said it about Elden Ring, but like I'm playing this game wrong because I refuse to look up the right way to do it, right? But I'm absolutely having to go grind vigor in order to make myself stronger. Abdel says they finished Fable 2 yesterday, and now they're playing Fable Anniversary. That's dope. How does Fable hold up? Last I went in, it did not hold up at all to me, and I'm curious if it feels more dated or if like there's a diminishing return. And it's like, all right, we're cool. We're cool. So Clint says super stoked for Flintlock and Kunitsugami this month for Game Pass. Yeah, I will tell you. I got my code for one of those today, and I played both of them at E3 esque whatever that was. I played Kunitsugami and Flintlock, and like, yeah, they're really good. Kunitsugami is not to be slept on, by the way, not to be slept on. That game is surprisingly good and interesting, and it speaks to a genre that I wasn't aware I was interested in, I guess you would say. Not tower defense per se, but like the Japanese aesthetic was throwing me off. So, and now I'm really liking it. Sokanet says jumping into Last Epoch today, but it's PC only. Oh, nice, very cool, very cool. So KG asks, do you know if Game Pass Standard includes third-party day ones or it's just no day ones in general? So KG, that has not directly been addressed publicly that I've seen, but most of the time, 9 times out of 10, your third-party day ones are specific deals. So it could include that. But if I was Xbox with this new standard tier, I would not include day ones. So they've not specifically said no to it. It'll probably be game by game, but I can't imagine they would. But I do think they are wise for having a tier that is cheaper, easier to enter, perhaps. But pulling day one from it, I don't know that that's like going to help anything, right? Like Hellblade 2 didn't sell, and it didn't sell because Xbox refused to market it. Right? As simple as that, right? Like that's why that happened. And so I don't think that's like, I don't know that that's going to help necessarily. Will Broke Boy Lewis has been a member for a month. Cheers to you, my friend. I really appreciate you being a member. That helps me so much cover the costs of podcasting, like so much. And podcasting is a luxury, right? But like cameras and softwares and so many other like little things. Yeah. Cocoon on Game Pass, but I've said that before. Absolutely. Cocoon's a great, good example. There are a lot of games on Game Pass, says Dano. I won't lie. I only got it back recently to play Hellblade 2. Steam sales have me buying games, even if I could play them on Game Pass. I get that. There's an allure to a game on sale. When a game's like $2 or $3, $4 or $5, there's an allure to it. I bought Contra Rogue Core a few days ago just because it was like $3. And so, that's something I did, right? I want to get back to this Hellblade 2 aspect about why you bought it, but I do want to shout out Will Broke Boy Lewis hooking me up with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. You are amazing. I can't tell you enough how much it helps. Will says, I bought NCAA Football 2025, and since it's been a long time since they've released a version for that game, keep up the good work. Thank you, my friend. My buddy Kev is super excited for NCAA football, and I think a lot of people really are. That game speaks to a lot of people. My buddy Kev is a diehard NC State fan and was at a game when they recorded audio for the audience on that one. So I thought that was kind of neat, right? Like he gets to have that moment, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool for sure. Let's see. Nearly the entire Yakuza series is on Game Pass, says Clint. Chef's kiss. I need to play the Yakuza series. Game Pass is the right way to do it. Like every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. The Japanese humor doesn't always speak to me. Like the and then like the lines pop out and they're surprised and stuff. Like even in Street Fighter 6, his campaign, it was a lot. It was a lot for me, but I didn't mind it. It's just the humor isn't there for me. It doesn't quite make me laugh as much. But I want to go back to Dano's comment real quick, guys. Talking about how he picked up Game Pass recently to play Hellblade 2. I have not heard that a lot. Not a lot of people do I know went out of their way to play Hellblade 2. And I full on blame Xbox for that, by the way. But I loved Hellblade 2, and I felt like that was a great Game Pass game for people to check out and see if they like it, because it's a great entry point for the franchise. And like, why wouldn't you, right? Like, it's such a good entry point for the franchise because you don't need the last game. It gives you a good background. It's visually impressive. Really love it. Really love it. So Hellblade 2, man. I'm forever angry. Forever angry. Forever angry at the way they did not market that game. Oh, it makes me so bummed. Will says I bought like 25 pinball tables in FX Pinball. That's awesome. I love FX Pinball. I actually have a friend that works there at oh my gosh, the studio that makes it. Oh my gosh, who makes FX Pinball? I'm totally blanking. But I met them on Twitter. So, yeah. And through Player One podcast, which is cool. Yakuza is not that anime. That's the word I was trying to think of for some reason, was like that anime humor. I thought it was, or maybe it's just clips I'm seeing soaking it. Maybe it's just clips that I've seen, right? Abdel says I played all 10 Yakuzas in Game Pass. Wow. That's a lot of Game Pass value. You played all 10 of them. They're my top 5 best games of all time. But storytelling in gaming, please try it out. So which one should I start with then? If I'm going to play Yakuza, which Yakuza do I start with? I will write it down. I'm not promising anything because right now I've got to play 2 games for coverage and I'm finishing Lords of the Fallen, which I'm not quite done with. So which Yakuza should I'll write it down. You tell me. Cheeseworks says Peyton Wilson is from NC State, now as a Steeler. Very cool. Very cool. Makes sense you would like the Steelers now. Wait, no. Steelers isn't cheese. That's Packers. No, look at my lack of sports knowledge. Red B says, good call on Yakuza. I wish I had more time to get through them all. Side note, Red Beast. Sorry about all the cussing on the last episode. I know you like to listen with your kids. I forgot to prep Joe on that one, and he just went off. If anybody hasn't watched the latest XEP, we were visited by some incredible people, and the people from the nerd chat, from trophy room, but Joe absolutely went off. So hold on, I'm behind on my comments here. Start with Yakuza 0, says everybody. Okay, Yakuza 0. I will try it. The first is Yakuza Kiwami. Oh no, now they're saying Kiwami and Kiwami 2. Oh boy. Okay, it's good to see you, Todd Oxtra. Good to see you, man. Todd, how did recording go? Because I wrote in, I haven't listened yet. But I haven't listened yet. Todd Oxter says Hellblade 2 would make an excellent film or series, and maybe that would grow the audience. Real talk, yes. Hellblade is ripe for the Fallout treatment. Give Hellblade a limited series, like a 2-season, 3-season Amazon budget series, and I'm there, right? Like I think that would get a lot of people into Hellblade. And Cheeseworks saying can't blame Microsoft because it's a niche game. I do blame Microsoft because I don't mind niche games being marketed, but the problem is like you need to showcase that next gen graphics, those next gen graphics. You need to showcase what your box can do, and then other people show up for it, right? Like there's a lot of good times to be had there. Like a Dragon is turn based, so I don't think Luke is a turn based fan, says Clint. You're probably right. Probably right. I don't mind turn based in some settings, but I do a lot of turn based in like mobile, right? I don't think I want to do that on a console experience. Silkanet says 0, Kiwami 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. All right. Secret Friends Unite was a blast. Deadpool was amazing. Yeah, Deadpool is such a great character. And you got to thank Ryan Reynolds, man. Got to thank him. Jampack Sam says, I think there is a catch-22 that if you market Hellblade 2 to the mainstream, they'll probably be disappointed. Definitely not a mainstream game. Yes, I know exactly what you are saying, but I feel like there are lots of games that I don't know why are as popular as they are, and mainstream is a relative term. Like we're literally talking about Yakuza, which is super popular, but like it was a niche for a long time. Now I feel like it's very mainstream by comparison. At least that's how I tend to think of it, right? Kiwami 2, then Yakuza 0. It flows perfectly that way, says Cygnus. All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Look at Todd dropping in that pizza there. Gosh, man. I'll tell you what. Oh, I'm thinking about Little Caesars. It's just bad pizza, guys. It's just bad pizza. Hellblade 2 is a piece of art. You are gosh darn right. I think that game is just so well acted, so well written. The audio is incredible. You got to have a good headset when you play Hellblade. You got to. No way around it. All right, guys. So let's see. I think Xbox relies too much on word of mouth from influencers and Twitch. The thing is word of mouth can also be bad. You're 100% right. That is an Xbox issue that they are now working to get away from. Because you're absolutely right. That is an Xbox problem. They do rely on word of mouth. The caveat, counterpoint, or thing that I will point out is that they have distanced themselves from content creators, and it, side note, came at an inconvenient time, I will say, for XEP, because I was really hoping to have some of them on. Zen Studios makes pinball. Yeah, that's right. And when a couple of the Xbox major influencers, I'm thinking about Tim Dog and I don't forget the other guy's name, when they like really got angry at Xbox, they really did torch a lot of the prospects for guys like Mr. Boomstick and myself and ILP and a lot of other people that like have overlapping communities in there to get some of those Xbox voices on shows. That was really a really big shame. I learned and discovered that when I was out in LA, is that it's become much harder for influencers of genuine Xbox content to get some of those voices, and that's a shame. But so it goes. Boomstick is the homie. Yeah, I actually have a Double Barrel Gaming hat right here that Boom gave me as a gift, which was really cool of him. Really cool of him. I gave him a pretty dope. What is it? Like XEP gift. I guess it was an engraved water bottle, and he gave me that one. So that was what was going on there. Let's see. Double downs in chat. I love it, Split End. I love it. And shout out to you, Split End, for having that dope picture with LeVar Burton. Very cool. Very cool. Very, very cool. I won a Gears coin from him. That's nice. I never got the Gears coin. I ended up with Diablo and COD. And I never got the Gears coin. And I literally I had dinner with Ben Kenobi like 5 times. But yeah, there's the Diablo one. I got the Diablo coin, which is lovely. And then I think I ended up with 2 different COD coins right here. There's that, and there's that. And I'm a big COD fan, so I really enjoy Call of Duty. And I played a lot of Diablo 4. Let's see how them headphones treat me. So well, dude. I love these. And I'm trying them out when I'm podcasting right now. You may have noticed that because they're white, it's easier to notice than the black ones. But I've been trying them out lately just to see if it frees up because it's cordless while I podcast, and I'm enjoying that as well. But I'm really trying to get my time in and loving them. They're so light. They're more comfortable even than the previous Nova Pros that I had. So I love this headset. This is the Arctis Nova Pro wireless for anyone watching, by the way. Steel Series sent them to me to test them out. I'll do a review for them for the channel. Once I get in, I want to get in 100 plus hours with them. So it takes time, obviously, but like gaming, podcasting, music, really enjoying it. And I've been playing Rock Band 4 because I got the PDP guitar for my wife. And it sounds so good on this as well. Let's see here. Just don't associate with toxic Xbox channels and communities, Luke. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I work really hard to not do that. Anyone I think that's watched XEP for a while knows that our goal is to celebrate video games and cover Xbox, not diss Team Blue, Team Red, or anything else, right? The only people I will make fun of in the gaming community associate with Mr. Badbit. You know what I mean? And that's because Joe smells funny. And his mother's beautiful, though. I will say that. Let's see. We got some questions in chat. I love these questions here. Todd Oxtra hooking me up today. He says, should we know when 2024 Xbox games are dropping by now, or do we think nothing is happening until October? So you're going to know soon about one, but you'll know more about after Gamescom kind of thing. They needed some announcements and showcases for Gamescom. And normally, Todd, like had you asked me last year at this time about, if we had a similar situation in years prior, I would start panicking. However, I remember how many times PlayStation delayed Last of Us. I remember how many times they delayed God of War. And I remember having like, what is 2 weeks? What's a month? Like, why are we hearing these updates? I'd rather them hold off on that as opposed to coming down the pipeline, marketing's getting done for a November date, and then they got to bump to December or whatever it is. And so I don't think I'm not as concerned anymore, right? Like Hellblade launched digitally. There wasn't anybody lining up for a midnight event or buying a box or whatnot. So I'm not concerned about release dates anymore. I would rather them know that they're going to have the game out before anything, right? Is all the marketing money going to COD? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think all the marketing money is going to COD. I think they're just really selective about how they spend their money as an Xbox company. Because one thing we've learned in watching like Matt Piscatella come out with data in the last week or so, and seeing a few other updates from various just like gamesindustry.biz articles and such, Microsoft has been making profit and money from their gaming division, whereas PlayStation has not by comparison. They're not close. And that's interesting to me because Xbox is selling so many fewer consoles than PlayStation. So it's a matter of return on investment. And as gamers, like, are we truly invested in the money that either company makes? No, we're invested in our experience. I just like I get it, right? Like I understand the point that's being asked there, but it is their move, right? Let's see here. Better looking than Joe's headset. Oh my gosh, Sam. Was that not the funniest thing? Like Joe's headset was the funniest thing. And like Joe, by the way, was rushing to get home to help me out because Logan was celebrating his birthday this past weekend. Shout out to him. Happy 42nd, my brother. He was celebrating his birthday. And so Joe was getting off work at 4 and was like, hey, I'll jump on with you at 4:10. And I was like, no, we'll do 5 so you don't have to rush. Got the boys from the nerd chat in. Joe was still running late because I knew he would be. So he goes, he puts on the headset and then didn't look in the mirror, didn't look at it. And he's like, this feels weird. Moved on. And then I was like, oh my Lord. And when he logged in, I watched the nerd chat guys, Jose and Dan, like almost lose it. And they were trying to be respectful. And I was like, don't be respectful. That was an embarrassing headset. I spoke with a Mrs. Lohr the other day from South Carolina. I was like, the odds that they're related to. And I was like, if there was a Mrs. Lohr in South Carolina, I don't think she's related to me. Unless my wife is stepping out. But that's a long way to step out. Like there are closer ways. Doom has already had more marketing than Hellblade 2. You're right. Right. And should you, as Xbox, this is the conundrum this is the box they put themselves in. Should you market a game that doesn't have a physical box that's only available to Xbox gamers, Hellblade, or should you market Doom that's going to be multiple places and be physical? I get it, but like still, like you need trailers rolling in movie theaters to sell your box. You need commercials going on Saturday morning or on Nickelodeon or on I don't know, Disney or whatever. I don't know where. I have no idea where Xbox sells its or marketing channels to, but they need to do more where kids watch stuff. Remember, guys, you can always add a friend or family to Game Pass and split the bill. That's a good tip. That's a great tip. I know Kevin Ainsworth from Project X Talk. He does game share with his twin, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Lethal Migraine says, not surprising. Xbox gamers from the beginning have, for the most part, always had better attach rates than Sony people. Is there data on that, Lethal Migraine? Because I didn't know that. I didn't know there was. Is there like proven data there? If there is, great. I'd be interested to see, because if I had to guess, PlayStation sold many more consoles than Xbox gamers, and people that are buying PlayStations they're doing so because of the exclusives. But then they, are they playing Madden and FIFA and COD? I don't know, because like that big top 10 of live service games, very few games crack that, right? Very few games crack that. Bouncing to make dinner, take care, pizza. I prefer the double down. I'll give you that one. Cartoon Network says Skater Lights. Yep, good call there. Cygnus says, I think the last layoffs cut some of their marketing and physical division. Interesting. Whatever happened to the Xbox family plan they were testing? They tested it, and it wouldn't have been profitable. So that's why. That's why. Let me give away some channel memberships here. I'm able to give away a few a month. So there you go. Hope you get one. Make good use of make good use of those super cool emotes in chat, because They're fun. One of them makes fun of Joe, and they're a good time. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Enjoy, my friends. Enjoy. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hey, there you go. I like seeing it. I like seeing it. Very cool. Very cool. So keep the questions coming, guys, because I'm enjoying this topic. And I want to go back to the idea of Game Pass being $20 for a month. $20 is the max for me, but there's a lot of good content there. Like, can you imagine? Like, think about the stuff that launched this year into Game Pass, right? Like, obviously, Hellblade's the big talking point, which is a big deal. Hey, Split End giving away a membership as well. Shout out to Split End gifting an XVP membership. You are awesome, my friend. You are awesome, and thank you for helping me keep the lights on. I really appreciate you, buddy. So let's see what games launched in the Game Pass this year. Sea of Stars was a really big indie hit all around the gaming community. That launched into Game Pass. Still Wakes the Deep launched into Game Pass. Obviously, Hellblade 2 went into Game Pass this year. What else do we have? We just got the Octopath games, which is pretty cool. Let me pull up. I have notes on this stuff, actually. I don't know why I'm just not looking at that. Because I found the idea of just like all the content we've gotten this year pretty darn incredible. We Happy Few went in there this year. I'm looking through Power World. That was the big one that I couldn't seem to remember. Obviously, the Personas have been dropping in there. Power World, yeah, thank you, Bernard. Absolutely. Lies of P and Wolong Fallen Dynasty, says Abdel from last year. Makes good sense. Very good sense. So this is interesting. Cheeseworks says $19.99 is my limit now for Game Pass. I agree with you. I fully agree with you there. I think 20 is the max you can do. I just can't see paying more, even if financially it would make sense. $20 feels like the hard line, right? Now, interesting. Lethal says, I'm not happy with $20, but who likes paying more for anything? But looking at what's coming in the next 2 years from Xbox, I'll be okay. I think that's what they're banking on, is people like you, Lethal, which makes sense, right? That's people like me as well. I just got another 3 months in as well. Dead Island 2 launched in this year. The Bluey the video game was in there. Warhammer Bolt Gun went in. I'm looking at all the big stuff. Control Ultimate Edition. A couple SpongeBob things. Evil West is in there. I love Evil West. Kona went in there. That's not Kino, but it is dope. Jedi Survivor, all the EA stuff went in there. I would, if they pulled all the EA stuff and kept it below $20, I'd have been happy. I know that's like blasphemy, right? But like, that's so it goes. I think the Fallout was a big win for Game Pass this year. Just Fallout itself and bringing like attention to that franchise. And it all being in Game Pass probably helped. But you got to know that they sold a lot because it was always on sale. My Game Pass Ultimate expires in 2026, so I'm good for a while. I would love it if they started selling year. Like, I hate this 3-month garbage they've got. Let me get a year. Just give me a year. Let me pay 150, whatever it is, get a year, and I would be very happy. But I guess they don't do that because they don't want those going on sale, which, take that for what you will. If it gets much higher, this is Lethal again saying, oh, why is it not spotlighting? I guess it's not letting me spotlight that one. Did I freeze up on you guys? Let me know if I froze up on you guys. It's just not letting me like clear the comment off of the stream. That's very odd. I don't know what that's doing. No, I'm good. It says I'm good. It's just not letting me clear the comment. Interesting. So all right, I'll just keep going then, and we'll just have Abdel's comment be there for a bit. Do you think they will do a deal for your Game Pass? Asks Nisa. I don't think so, and they should, but I don't think they will. They should, but I just don't think they will, which sucks. All right, I'm back. I don't know what just hiccuped there. There we go. But it just did this like drop out and drop back in thing. So let me know if you guys can still hear me, but it looks like it's good on my end agreed they should do a second price hike and just This is the second price hike in just a year, says Split End. That is concerning, but I see that happening industry wide. I do see that happening industry wide. So I'm trying not to be doom and gloom about it. At least that's kind of like the way I'm trying to approach it, is not be doom and gloom. I don't want that to be the case. They should do away with Game Pass Core. Cheeseworks, I don't know. I think calling it Game Pass Core was dumb. I don't think that made sense. Like, you shouldn't have called it Game Pass Core. But I think you have to have a bottom base tier that gets people in. That said, I know that they are changing it. Do you think we ever get a yearly plan? I want one, KG. That's what I would like, would be to have a yearly plan. But it feels like we just don't seem to get it. And that's very frustrating. If you're adding Warcraft, that's a little underpriced to Split End. Oh, I see what you're saying. Just about like having an Ultimate plus Warcraft tier. I think Warcraft should be lumped into Game Pass Ultimate, so you can get some of those Warcraft subscriptions into Game Pass and have them start exploring the ecosystems outside of Game Pass. I think that would be pretty smart. Standard could be the base tier now. Yeah, I like that idea. Like, I don't dislike it. Nobody likes price hikes, right? But I think we all saw this one coming, so like it does make sense. So they're actually raising it in September. It's only breaking on Twitter. The news is now public. We have a date for it. It's not that it's rising tomorrow. It's the idea that now we know about it, Cygnus. I think that's why people are saying that. Are 3-month cards the longest they have for Ultimate currently? They used to have a year and 6 months and 3 months, and now all I see anywhere are 3 months, and that's really frustrating. Really frustrating. What's up, Portal Player? What's up, Hargeet Shani? Good to see you, my friend. We were just talking about you a few minutes ago. Hargeet says on Aniba right now you can get 3 months for $26.50. And there's about a 12-month for about $130. Okay, I got 3 months for $40 over on Newegg, and it I winced when I did it. Like, it felt expensive, even though by the new pricing standard you're getting a month free that way. So, that price will skyrocket if Warcraft went in. So, Split End, I don't know that I agree with you. If you just moved if people were able to move their Warcraft subscription over to Game Pass Ultimate, it would boost subscription numbers so they could market it that way. But then you'd bring them into ecosystems where they would spend money on the Xbox side. And I feel like that might be a good way it might be a win-win, So take that for what it is. Kay Asante helping out as well. What's up, Asante? Good to see you, my friend. Asante saying, pro tip on Gamivo.com, you can get 3 months for $20.87. Stack up, people. I've never heard of Gamivo. Have you used that before, Asante? Should I use that? I've never done it. There's also GG deals. Okay, look at Harjeet and Asante. They're doing the gaming lord's work there. I love it. Very, very good there. They can add, the more they add games, the more they will raise the subscription price. Cygnus, I understand what you're saying, but really? I look at some of the stuff that's in Game Pass, and I'm like, did they pay for that? Or was the developer just like, please do this? I always buy games on Gamivo. It's a good website. Okay, very cool. I bought Elden Ring on that site for $25 on day one. Well, shout out to you, man. Okay. And side note, Asante, great episode with Lord Cog yesterday. That was enjoyable, my friend. That was enjoyable. I lurk often. The stacking method still works to a 2 or 3 year conversion. So 3 years of Xbox Live or Game Pass Core plus 1 month of Game Pass Ultimate converts to 2 years of Game Pass Ultimate. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Portal Player saying he's never heard of Gamivo. Neither have I. Same. Guys, I will say, just because we're doing a Let's Talk and we're hanging out and I'm enjoying you guys, hit that like button for me. I would be appreciative if you would be so inclined, because I'm enjoying it. I've seen a lot of people come in and find XEP from the Cliffy B interview, which was really cool. But I'm hoping some of those people stick around and enjoy. Do I think Xbox fans will revolt? No, I don't think so. I think subscription service is going up as par for the course, Portal Player, and we're seeing that happen. Spotify, we're seeing it happen. Netflix, seeing it happen in so many places that it feels par for the course and understandable. Not agreeable, but understandable. But I do think until Xbox hits a full cadence of top tier, one per quarter, 90 plus Metacritics, that you can't push past $20. Cheeseworks says, how did you set up the Cliffy B interview so quick? I'd interviewed Cliff before, and so I had his contact info. And when I was on the way back from LA, I think it was, I was just like, I wonder what Cliff's doing. And I messaged him and I said, hey man, I know you're not focused on games right now, but if you're willing to chat, let's chat. He said, I learned from Romero. Let's do this. Any publicity is good publicity. So he came on, and it just happened to take off. The algorithm liked it, which XEP is a pretty small Xbox channel, right? Like you guys are here with me, and that makes my day. It means the world to me. But like so many other shows dwarf this one. The fact that Cliff came on and was willing to give his time was really genuinely kind of him, and I'm really glad it took off. So Dano says, in all honesty, I don't know if I'll subscribe again to Game Pass. I'll just get it. I'll get it when I want to play a game like I did with Hellblade 2. I wonder if more people take that approach. I know some people really enjoy the like maneuvering of subscriptions so they can watch the show that they want, watch the movie they want to watch, and then they'll cancel Hulu, pick up Netflix, cancel Netflix, pick up Amazon, and they'll rotate through. I'm the opposite of that. I'm the guy that just wants to fire and forget when it comes to this stuff. I want to buy a year and not worry about it. But I use my Xbox every day, right? That's my main driver for games is my Xbox. The question is, can they get people like yourself that are not main driving on Xbox? Can they keep you? And I don't think they've been able to confidently say yes. Cheeseworks saying it was a fantastic interview. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. It was fun because Cliff's so ADD, you know what I mean? Like he gets so focused that like if you watch, like I was trying to steer, just because like that's what you do when you interview people. This year alone, says Abdel, Avowed, Black Ops 6, Indiana Jones, Flight Sim 2024, Age of Mythology, Towerborn, Capcom's Path. Do you mean you mean Kinitsugami, right? Flintlock. I get my 18 euros a month out of it easily. Absolutely no. I agree. You are getting a lot of content this year. Had they done this price hike last year? No, not acceptable. Not acceptable. Kinitsugami, I think, is going to impress some people that give it a chance, but I don't think enough people are going to give it a chance. And that's a bummer because a lot of people looked at the Marvel versus Capcom news and they were like, why aren't y'all helping Xbox out? And then you look at separate look, Capcom has done a lot of stuff for Game Pass. Resident Evil's in there. Kinitsugami's coming in day one. Exoprimal was day one. Capcom does like Game Pass. They do like Xbox. PlayStation paid for that exclusivity for a bit. I have it on good authority. There was a deal that was cut, and it will happen later. And that's just kind of how it goes, guys. Right? Xbox has not shown themselves to be wanting or willing to pay for those deals to not be the case. That's partly why the Xbox is able to turn a profit despite being well behind in console sales, right? Just how it goes. Monster Hunter Rise also on Game Pass. You're right. I mean, Capcom and Xbox get along very well. It's when PlayStation purchases exclusivity deals, and that's business. It's not what I like, but it's business. Danos asks did I ever ask Cliff for an autographed copy of his book or comic? Did I? No. Could I? Absolutely. I could. He has a bar in Raleigh, less than an hour from me, and I could go see him 4 or 5 nights a week. So could you guys. Patron his bar, go check out a beer, listen to his comedy. He hosts karaoke. Like he's an accessible individual outside of social media and such. He's just venturing into new things. Like from my experience in interviewing a lot of different minds and wisdoms of variously high intelligences. Like when I had Seamus Blackley on, Seamus Blackley is a physicist, right? he was talking to me about soldering Xboxes underneath stages before showcases, and then he was building rockets, and then he was being an agent to different people in the gaming industry, and then he decided to make bread, and now he's doing some pretty high level work for defense companies. Like, people that are that smart get bored and move around. And I think Cliff is one of those people. And if you've read his book, it also makes sense why he's tried Broadway, why he's tried comedy, why he's tried business ownership and politics and stuff. His mind just goes there. So, should I play a demo or wait for full release? I believe you're talking about Kunitsugami. I would say play the demo. Play the demo. I mean, yeah, you're getting it on Game Pass, but play the demo. See what's up. If you got the time. There's an Okami crossover as a result of if enough people play the demo. So I would say check out the demo for sure. Remember that Xbox considered not putting COD on Game Pass. Is price hike a good alternative? Yes, it is. Call of Duty is a moneymaker and very much a nice win for Game Pass. I think you'll see Game Pass go up over the course of 3 months. It will not be a day one thing. They got to get the message out there. It's not their best thing. Cygnus says Xbox superpower is money they could easily pay Marvel vs. Capcom for expedited Xbox port. That the port is there. It's just a matter of like the marketing deal, and they chose not to compete with PlayStation on that money. And I think that's a smart thing. I had a boss who looked like Cliff. He was not enthused when I showed him a pic. That's funny. Portal Player says, would you pay $20 a month for Game Pass Ultimate? Yeah. Yes, I would. But that's my max. That is my max. I would not go beyond that. You got to get that cadence of first-party releases up consistently. I need one a quarter games that I'm going to enjoy first-party for me to do that, because as much as I love the third party and the indies, the draw of Game Pass is Xbox Game Pass. So take that for what you will, good or bad. So if you haven't liked the stream, please do so, guys, and keep the questions coming. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying just hanging out and chatting with you guys. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any of your questions there. I know Asante and Harjeet dropped in saying hello and helping people out, finding some stuff. Migraine says, I haven't been paying attention lately. Have they announced when ABK games are joining Xbox Game Pass yet? Have they announced it? No. The published rumors are August, and I've heard some pretty cool things. I think you guys are going to be pleased with some of the Xbox news coming towards the end of this month, early next month. There's kind of a window late July, early August, where I think Xbox gamers are going to be treated quite well to some good stuff there. That's definitely a win. Split N asks a very logical question as a result of the previous one. If you were not into Call of Duty, would this hike make sense to you? I think the answer has to be yes on this one, because we're seeing price hikes to subscription services across all of entertainment, from music to TV to movies to games. We're seeing that across the board. If the others were not going up and it felt like an outlier, it'd be a little bit different. But the price hike is a result of the service not making quite as much money as they wanted it to, for inflation and all the other reasons. The industry is clearly shrinking, right? Like, not the gaming industry, but the console industry. So they've got to extract dollars in other ways. If you look at what Apex Legends did with their battle pass in the past few weeks, months, it's now effectively doubled the price of their battle pass. They went from a 90-day cycle of battle passes down to a 45-day cycle. So they've doubled the price of what they're charging their mainstream users, because Apex Legends is not growing. So now they need to extract profits out of that same group with diminishing returns. And they know they're going to have those people pay that money. So that's what they're doing. And as far as Call of Duty entering into Game Pass, Call of Duty is going to make so much money, just by getting people in. The battle passes, the cosmetics, all make a big difference. Cygnus, let's not pressure Web Dave in any way, shape, or form. That's not appropriate for the chat. Don't do that. Cheesework says, please consider interviewing James Altman. He's the son of Robert Altman, CEO of Bethesda, and James was a producer on the Fallout show. I will put his name down. I have got people that I regularly talk to outside. Like sometimes I do interviews that don't go live, right? Just as a way of going about. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't get published. People ask not to, but I've got a list running. For example, I was going to interview and have on some Flintlock devs, but their timing just was, I think it was Flintlock, but they're in New Zealand and it just wasn't going to happen. But I keep a running list and I do try to get people on. I noticed that post, not E3, but post the E3-esque shows, there was a decline in people being willing to come on just as a result of like they were socially burned out. If you're not following Split End 89's content on gamingtrend.com, he did a lot of developer interviews, and I will spotlight him. I'm gonna put in gamingtrend.com. That's the website that he is the editor in chief for, and you should absolutely go there because he like sat down with Treyarch, with people from COD, with developers from all over, and so as a website he gets more access, I think, than I'm able to in some cases, right? Can someone get an interview with Daryl Gallagher, Perfect Dark, since he founded the initiative in 2018? I've never seen him on camera. Last I heard, this is dated info, but last I heard, Crystal had taken over so much work that the initiative was essentially embarrassed to be out there. And that's very dated info. Like it's been years since my source left there. So call it what it is. I'm anxious to see Perfect Dark going because it feels like Perfect Dark's that 2026 game that's going to help launch the new Xbox. And I'm like, that'll be interesting because it doesn't look like it's pushing power, but like it'd be kind of cool if it was. Let's see. Team Cherry. Why do I know Team Cherry? Is that Hollow Knight? I feel like that's Hollow Knight. South Australia. What does Team Cherry make? Oh, it is Hollow Knight. Yeah. Keep your eye on the next few months of Xbox. Perfect Dark is now my most anticipated game. All right, very cool. That's awesome, Cheeseworks. That's awesome. Thanks for the shout out, man. You're awesome. No, you're awesome. You're the one that's done the interviews. Guys, if you're not following Split End, gamingtrend.com, like genuinely great content, high quality written work, but has sat down with multiple developers and just generally one of the nicest guys. So he did. I've told this story like 58 times, but I'll tell it for 59. He did that thing where like he saw me in Summer Game Fest Play Days, which is like a media content creator only kind of thing. And I'm walking through one of the show floors and he's like, Luke. And he looks at me and goes, it's me, David. And I'm like, hello. And I have no idea who he is. He goes, Split End. And I was like, oh my gosh, what's up? And like, to me, that's the funniest thing. Cause like, I'm a teacher. Kids come up to me all the time. Parents come up to me all the time. Hey, Mr. Lohr, what's up? And I'm like, hey. And then they'll tell me who they are. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? That happened to me just yesterday. I was at Jersey Mike. Somebody walked in and was like, hey, Coach Lohr. And I'm like, hello. I coached their kid for years. And I was like, oh, good to see you. Let's see. Perfect Dark needed a 6 to 7 years development. Okay, so Perfect Dark Portal Player was scrapped twice that I know of. And I'm not even like the main, I'm not your news source, right? But I just happened to bump into and know people here and there. So Perfect Dark was started, scrapped, the vision didn't work, started again. That one didn't work so hot. COVID was in there in one of those. Crystal Dynamics, what they were going to do, that was essentially Crystal Dynamics was essentially brought in to take over, and then that didn't happen. And now you're seeing the initiative's actual work on Perfect Dark, but it's nice to see it because we all kind of thought it was dead. And again, my info on Perfect Dark is very dated at this point, but it was back when Crystal was working on Avengers and I was deep into the Avengers developer community and whatnot. So that's how I knew the stuff about initiative. No longer is that the case. They're not working there anymore and such. Let's see. People wanted organic growth. That's how long it takes to build a studio in COVID times from ground up. Yeah. One of the things that I often hear, and we talked about this on Web Dave's show recently. We're talking about like Colin Moriarty as being a vocal voice on this topic, but in general, we hear a lot of people say, well, Xbox bought their games, bought their studios. Yeah, it's a business. Fair point. Fair play to a point, but like no longer does anybody get to be like, oh, they bought Starfield, they bought Bethesda. That was years ago, and you got to move on. Well, they bought Obsidian years ago. Get over it. Double Fine years ago. Like before that, before they decided to be serious about gaming, which is what you want a major player like Microsoft purchasing publishers and developers and keeping the industry going, right? For every lion's head that they closed, like how many others did they keep going that wouldn't have? Every time that happens, they kept a game and studio alive. And Xbox at one point had Minecraft, Halo, Forza, Gears, State of Decay. And like that was it. Those were like their 5 games because Fusion Frenzy was a decade and a half behind. The Connect 2 did not work. Rise was dead. They had Recore as their big exclusive, which shout out to Recore. I love Recore, but like we're not trying to compare Recore to God of War, right? So whenever I hear that people complain about Microsoft, it's like you're upset that Microsoft chose to be serious about gaming, serious about the games industry and having an impact. I can't imagine like how silly anybody in their right mind would be if they were upset that Xbox purchased studios and publishers and showed they were the real deal and cared about gaming. It just doesn't make sense to me. Sony bought everyone. They certainly didn't create Naughty Dog. Yeah, it's true of everybody, right? Like that's part of the industry. You open, you close studios, but it's much easier to purchase an established product and then allow them to work and cook, right? That's just how it goes. And let's not forget, like Sony, who again, very much outselling Xbox on the console side of things, but not necessarily being profitable. They have shut down so many studios, so many projects, so many places were shut down by Sony that it's almost incomparable. And so I just really get frustrated when I hear that argument. Like, yes, Microsoft bought Obsidian. Yeah, they kept Obsidian going and making games. Bethesda is making games, and now their cadence is picked up as a result of it. Changes were made, and their cadence is picked up. And so it's just like, why would you be upset? I'm thinking about like on my PS4, there was a game I platinumed called Kill Strain. Never made it past beta or public, like 3 months, 4 months. Live service, first entry. They shut it down and closed it. They shut down the David Jaffe Drawn to Death, I think it was. They shut that one down. They tried a bunch of other games and they shut those down. Media Molecule, Xbox Japan, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things just didn't work. I don't know if Media Molecule got shut down, but like, was it Dreams? Didn't like they had so many projects not work and they shut them down that I don't think it's fair to complain about a studio being purchased or not homegrown. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Organic growth comes from a studio making a rinky-dink game like Naughty Dog to a AAA blockbuster game. Sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of ways for organic growth. That's why it is what it is. But yeah, that could be. Could be. I mean, like organic growth wasn't Halo. Halo was being marketed to Apple, to Macintosh. And then Xbox came in and said, we want this on console. Jaffe pitched the game to Xbox first. Mikey Barr offered him $2 million to make it, but he didn't agree to it. Interesting. I didn't know that. Interesting. Neat. David Jaffe has been an interesting personality to follow. I feel like I'm watching the slow decline of a brilliant man, but I can't tell. Like I can't tell if he's doing it for show or not. But sometimes I hear just immense wisdom from his knowledge in the industry, and other times I'm like, what are you doing, dude? I don't know, man. I just can't wrap my head around it. If there was a new studio created, Lohr Innovations, what game, style, genre, whatever would you make? So I get asked this question a lot, Lethal, and I'm not creative enough to give you a great answer. In my mind, it would be a third-person action platformer with stealth elements, starring a superhero, right? Like if that sounds like Arkham, it's because that's my favorite franchise. So I would do something in that realm. If I had the full go-ahead, I think maybe I would make a third-person action adventure title in the Halo universe, right? Or maybe explore an established studio with a different change up. Like I would love a survival horror game in the Gears universe, or uh you play as Spec Ops in the Gears universe, like as the Onyx Guard, and you've got to go rescue somebody or something like that'd be kind of cool. Tencent offered Jaffe to make $100 million AAA game, but he declined because he doesn't like China. Do you believe that? Like, do you believe that? I don't know. Jaffe's interview with Xbox Two is pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. I haven't listened to it. What do you say? I'm thinking about a couple other things I've seen. Hometown Hero says, "I can't believe you're here and not in training camp." Well, this ain't training camp. It's the gulag. I'm gonna be on soon, Kevo. I'm gonna jump off here soon, buddy. He said it on stream. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's true. Like, I do not for a moment believe that David Jaffe was offered $100 million budget AAA title. I just don't believe that. Maybe I'm wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a guy talking. Maybe I'm out there, but I don't see a guy who's selling Patreon subs turning down heading up a studio for that. Again, maybe I'm wrong. And like, you can't argue his impact on the gaming industry. Twisted Metal and God of War are pretty great, right? He did Twisted Metal, right? Am I thinking that right? Right? I'll take it, Tencent. Yeah, exactly, Kev. Like, exactly. Like, I'll take it, right? Like, $100 million budget, and he's asking for Patreon subs. Like, I'm asking for Patreon and channel memberships. I need that to keep a podcast going. You think he's turned down $100 million? I don't know, man. Tencent got Sean Layden, though. I mean, Sean Layden had Sony incorrectly let Sean Layden go. Sean Layden was a great leader for Sony, and they rode his coattails through the PS5 generation. But Jim Ryan's vision absolutely stumbled, fell, and failed. Like, one of the things that we forget about leadership, think about presidents in the United States. It doesn't matter who you elect or whatnot. You're dealing with the predecessors' success and failures for at least 2 years minimum. Usually it's 4 or 5. And so, like, the PS5 rode the coattails of a great PS4 setup and building studios to make those incredible AAA experiences. And that's why you got sequels instead of new visions. How many new games has PlayStation made? Returnal? And I think that's it. And that was Housemarque's jam. I think it's just Returnal. And so that's the problem, is that like they set themselves up for sequelitis, and then they didn't have a game plan to deal with this new changed market. Xbox, on the other hand, stumbled early and had to change to survive. And now you're getting South by Midnight. Now you're getting Avowed. Now you're getting Clockwork Revolution, as well as your established sequels, COD, Gears, etc. So Layden is out of his mind these days. Everything he says is hypocritical. Why do you say that, Lethal? Cheeseworks says, "I'm not voting in 2024. Both options are assigned." A gently alive corpse or dumb Hitler? You don't want those ones? I don't know. I either lost or gained some subs on that comment, but I think it's hilarious. Not good options. So, let's see here. Why do you think PlayStation is so quiet? No interviews, no press, no media? Because PlayStation has been quiet because there's not much to say right now. And why call attention if you're selling units and the only news you've got is not great news? Like, Concord looks to be DOA, and that sucks. Like, I don't wish for any game to be DOA. Yes, you're listening to the Xbox expansion pass. I enjoy Xbox, but I don't want Concord to die. That's not something why would I root for that? That's silly. Like, I want developers to make games, and I want games to be successful. So, like, PlayStation's got no news, man. That's why they're quiet. It's just they don't have anything to talk about right now. A lot of PlayStation's business model came from third-party deals to fill gaps where first-party was absent. And Xbox saw that and went after that. Bethesda and Activision Blizzard being kind of their solution to it. So whereas Xbox rode the coattails of Halo and Call of Duty in the 360 generation, PlayStation rode the coattails of Destiny and COD in PS4 and 5. But now COD has gone over and Xbox's tides are changing. And so I think you're just seeing different stuff happen. Sean says that there should only be one home console PlayStation, one mobile device Switch, and Xbox for publishing service. I mean, okay, fine. I guess like John Layden can say whatever he wants. That's fine. His job at Sony is no longer, and now he has to make himself available and marketable in other places. And his business acumen and vision has the benefit of being in the business and seeing numbers on the back end that we don't as consumers get to see. So maybe he's right. Maybe he's just way off his rocker. Maybe he's wrong. Whatever it is, like his opinion's not to be discounted given his pedigree and experience. But you can consider it and then consider that maybe there's more to what he's trying to say for his own personal gain. Like he might be trying to win a job somewhere. He might be trying to take a business strategy for something he truly believes in. If Xbox followed what all of us thought, they'd probably be out of business. If PlayStation did what we want PlayStation to do sometimes, they'd be out of business, right? Like we as the consumers don't always know everything. We think we do, but we don't. We don't. We do enjoy commenting on it. That's the best part of these shows. We love commenting on it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of why we enjoy hanging out. Like I'm looking at our chat right now. You guys look like you're enjoying hanging out and chatting, and I'm enjoying talking to you. So like that gives us something to talk about. But it's like when you watch people that have never played pro football. Well, if I was in the game, I'd have thrown a 30-yard touchdown right there to the wide. What? Like, okay, like you played JV in high school. Calm down. I don't know. It was just one of those like I can't tell Sean Layden what to do. I host the Xbox expansion pass. I used to dream of building an R2D2 with all the consoles built into it and a single HDMI port. That's the one true console future. What was it? All right, old hats. Tell me if you remember this. I wish Kayasante was still in here because he would remember this. Way back when in the magazine days, there was this mythological console called the Phantom, and it played everything. And that was like the dream. Like we would every few years, we'd see it pop up in an Electronic Gaming Monthly or Game Pro. We'd be like, the Phantom? So, and what Kev is describing is a PC. We just don't want to admit it. If Bacon were in the chat, he'd tell us. He'd tell us. But yeah, guys, yeah, this is, I wish Asante was still in here because he could talk about the Phantom, I bet, just because it was such a fun thing. So, oh man, guys, we're starting to wind down. If you have enjoyed the show, please click the like button. If you are a channel member, I greatly appreciate you for hanging out. If you have been enjoying XEP content, please like and subscribe and share to other people. I will be very appreciative to you. Get your last questions in as well. Get your last questions in for me as well so I can answer anything else that you might have for me. And then I'm going to go jump into either some Fortnite or some COD with my buddy Suddy, my buddy Kevo. And we'll enjoy that. It was a Phantom. Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. Any final thoughts here, guys, before we log out, peace out, and have a good old rest of our day? Rest of our time. Let's see. Most anticipated Xbox Game Pass drop for the remainder of 2024. By default, I think it has to be Call of Duty, but real talk, it's such a good time because like Avowed and Indie are in there. I'm really excited for that one. Do I believe Sony money-hatted Wukong? I've heard that, Abdel. Just the idea that you mean like purchasing a window of exclusivity. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I mean, probably. I don't think it's as cut and dry as like the Series S is ruining gaming. Like that's not a thing. Cygnus says the 5 to 8 year cycle for AAA blockbuster, either they go AA and employ more, but it would balloon the budget. I mean, yeah, the cycles are too long, but that's why AI is coming in. So for me, it's Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is your most anticipated. I think that game looks interesting. I'm very hopeful for it. I do not think it'll sell well, but I'm really excited for it. Oh my gosh, the trophy room. I predicted this. Oh my gosh. I even put it, he's joking at me because I put on Twitter, all these people that are like out there being like, I predicted Xbox would do this. It's like, shut up. All of us did. What are you talking about? Like nobody out there It is no one out there had the foresight when nobody else did, and sources told them it'd be going up. Everybody knew the price was going up. Everybody knew that. Like, what are you talking about? Kills me. Kills me. Personally, I don't see any reason for Digital Foundry to exist, but if you do listen to them, Series S isn't a problem at all. So I enjoy Digital Foundry, what they do, right? When they factually report on stuff. I don't like when their information is weaponized. In fact, I oftentimes think that their information has done more harm than good to the gaming industry. That's something I think does happen. And it's not the work that they're doing, it's that it's been weaponized by console warriors. And I will die on the hill that I do not care if PS5 has 61 frames per second and I have 60. Like, I just don't care, right? Now, if we're dropping below 29, like if the game's supposed to be 30 and it's dropping below 30 and we're at 29, that's a problem. But if like PS5 is running at 62 and PlayStation or Xbox is running at 63, that's not a victory for Xbox. It's not a loss for PlayStation. Like, whatever. What are your thoughts on the situation? What are your thoughts? You got all them teraflops, bro. Gentle Stone, what's up, bud? Good to see you. How much is this a hike? Is it a done deal? So, yes, it's a done deal. In September, the price is going up for Game Pass Ultimate, and then a new tier is being added called Game Pass Standard, and that's a lower level tier, cheaper buy-in, but you don't get the day one Xbox games. Take that for what you will. Take that for what you will. But it's not a huge hike, but it is bumping into the territory of like, that's the most I'd pay. $20 is probably the most I'd pay right now. Back when Xbox One, PS4, they had more to talk about. Yeah, I guess so, man. Yeah, actually it makes good sense. The Xbox One was so underpowered. What was it? It was Rise Son of Rome. That was supposed to be Xbox's big spectacle, but it ran at 900p, I think it was. And it was like, oh, yikes. So does the new tier that doesn't have day one Xbox games still include third party or day ones? Case by case, Will. From what I know, it's case by case, but likely not, right? Like likely not. I don't think so. Like if I was a third party, I would not launch my game into Game Pass base. There. Luke, do you think PS5 Pro will be a huge problem for Xbox? No. I think PS5 Pro in the current market condition, PS5 Pro is going to be shown probably this year. If it doesn't launch this year, it's first half next month, first half next year. The Series S and X, kind of like your base and Pro model anyway, and Xbox is looking to jump to get ahead of the PlayStation 6. PS5 Pro looks like a negligible bump to talk to PS5 users and keep selling PlayStation 5s, right? Like it's not a matter of like, is the PlayStation 5 Pro going to be better? Yes, absolutely. But how many people have been holding out for a Pro that haven't already bought a PlayStation? You're not looking at expanding a market. And I think Xbox knows that because they're not market leader and they're behind by a good amount, there's no reason to enter there. Their best bet is to just do the next thing, right? Trophy room, PlayStation Sony ponies. For the record, guys, they have a segment called the Sony Pony Express. Yeehaw. And I just want to make fun of them for that. Joe saying, I would not pay $20, honestly, too rich for my blood. He spelled too wrong, which I'm going to make fun of him for. He's dyslexic, though. I can make fun of him. So he says $20 is too much. I don't think it's too much. I think it's too much if you're not an Xbox gamer. Like, it's too much for Xbox to be your secondary console, right? And the majority of Joe's gaming happens on his PlayStation, where he can play Xbox games sometimes, right? Like Sea of Thieves is in the top 10, Call of Duty's in the top 10, So it makes sense that he would not go into Game Pass Ultimate for $20. If you're a main Xbox gamer, I don't know why you wouldn't. And that's the difference, right? That's the difference. And I hear some people like, PlayStation gamers want to buy their games. They're just going to support Xbox. Yeah, that's an option. And Xbox gamers, you can buy the game too if you want to. You don't have to have Game Pass. You can buy the game. Like, that's fine. That's fine. So Hometown bringing in the logic here, $240 a year, not counting a sale. If you play 4 games at launch, you've won. That's the kicker. If Xbox can get 4 launch games full price, you're good. That's the kicker. Are they doing that at the moment? Not really, because like Helldivers was at full price. Did you play Starfield? Did you play Forza and Starfield and Helldivers? In that logic, like what he's saying is good logic if when Xbox gets that cadence. And this year is a great year for $240 a month, right? Because you had Hellblade, then you got Avowed, you got Call of Duty, you've got Indiana Jones, you've got Starfield's expansion, you've got Towerborn and Age of Mythology and stuff. But one thing I do not like, and I'm going to call any of my Xbox brethren out here, Hellblade 2, yeah. Any of my Xbox brethren, when you are listing all those games, please don't speak like you're playing all of them and loving all of them all the time, every time. Like when I talk about Forza Motorsport, I'm not pretending I play Forza Motorsport. I prefer Horizon. So like you can throw it into the conversation, have your conversation, but please do it. I said Helldivers. Oh, I meant Hellblade. Obviously. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Egg on my face, guys. Egg on my face. $240 a year, you could definitely get me 15 physical games at a discount. So Cygnus, yes, but to use some cyclical BS logic, you're not supporting developers if you're getting them at a discount and the disc has already been printed. It's silly, you know? The joke I'm making is that anybody anywhere can make an agreement with their finances to justify their purchasing. So don't like if that's how you like to roll, do it, Cygnus. But I don't think we get to make fun of each person's spending habits if they're enjoying it and doing it within their means. Lethal says CD Keys has 3-month codes for $27. You get 4 of them for a little over 100. So if you're set for a year, 40%. Yeah. I think a lot of people are trying to take advantage of sales right now, and they should. They should. Xbox gamers, you should have Game Pass. If you're not a main Xbox gamer, then it's up to your habits and what you're interested in. Simple as that. Simple as that. A sale is made when it exceeds the cost in the eye of the consumer. That's said by a man that sold things in his career. Abdel says, I played 100+ hours of Motorsport and I actually prefer it over Horizon. You're awesome, Abdel. Like, that's dope. I'm talking about the people that are listing like Age of Empires 3 and 4, and then they never play. Like, yes, you can use it as an argument to justify your cost to a point, but you don't want to go past the idea and pretend like everyone everywhere that has Game Pass is playing all these things all the time. Maybe I'm not making sense. I don't know. It wouldn't be since it's supposed to pay people only buy online. Oh, I comment anything to support. Good for you. All right, guys. Still a great value proposition. I agree. All right, guys. I'm wiped. I appreciate you hanging out with me for an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much again to Will Brokeboy Lewis for the $5 super chat earlier. I really appreciate you helping me keep the lights on. Split End for gifting a membership. I really appreciate you for helping me keep the lights on. I will say this in the kindest way. If you have a creator that you enjoy, support them in what ways you're able. Same with developers, same with studios and content. Support as you're able. It means the world to us, guys. Let's see. No, you are awesome, Portal Player. I really appreciate seeing you in chat, Portal Player. You are awesome. Cygnus, good to see you as always. Hope you're doing well and having a good day. Lethal Migraine, I'm not a fan of the newest Motorsport. The previous ones were quite good. I would say Horizon is more fun. I agree. I agree with that, Migraine, for my personal taste. And I'll tell you, check out Crew Motorfest. It's legit. All right. Wait. That super chat bought NCAA football. He's the GOAT. Oh, yeah. Will, he said he bought NCAA football. Yes. And I did tell him that you were a professional voice actor now. Don't worry. Thanks for all the great conversation and content, Gentlestone. I appreciate you, bud. All right, guys. That's going to be it for me. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Take care.